Good morning, good citizens of Rippletopia. I'm expecting my son's face will probably show up in that window at some point when he looks out here to see what I'm doing. It is gorgeous out here this morning. It's about 55 degrees, maybe 60 degrees now. Perfectly blue sky. A calm street with lots of retirees, except for me and my wife. And I'm having my morning coffee. It's a good day. Wanted to do a quick video. I'm trying to do quicker videos for people that don't have a lot of time, and then I will do some longer things every now and then, a little bit more in depth, but I have these thoughts at times that I figured I might as well capture and post. So this morning I'm thinking about Ripple and disruption. Disruption is a term that got co-opted by primarily the technology industry over the last number of years. And so when a term gets co-opted and used in a new way often, you sort of forget the original meaning of it oftentimes, or you don't maybe grasp the full weight of the original meaning of the word anymore, because it's been softened by its new use. Disruption disrupts stuff. It causes a mess for a while. It gets in the middle of something that was working at one point and working just fine as far as the people who were involved with that thing, and it starts to mess with it. And it starts to change what that thing's going to be in the future. And the people who have ownership of that thing that was working just fine are not happy about the disruption. So, lots of news out recently. In the last number of days, one thing that sticks in my mind is a Reuters article that was in a UK paper, I think, that horribly misquoted, or didn't even misquote, just took words said by David Schwartz and created the author of the article created his or her, I think it's his, own narrative that you could not extrapolate from the words of David Schwartz if you tried. So the author just bent the words and made the article say in the headline what they wanted it to say, even though the words within didn't support it. Then we had Western Union CEO coming out and saying, just making an illogical statement for a CEO who's in the middle of testing a product. They ran 10 this is really funny to me. They ran 10 transactions with XRP, which, if you know the transaction costs using XRP, they are ridiculously low. They are sub-penny transactions. And then he said, well, this didn't really save us a lot of money, to that effect. He said this publicly. You have 10 sub-penny transactions being run by a multi-billion-dollar company. And then you announce that it didn't save a lot of money? Well, no S, Sherlock. Of course it didn't save you a lot of money. What kind of ridiculous thing is that to say, right? And there's been a lot of other things like this too. Just FUD articles and ridiculous stuff happening that make people who are holders of XRP and people who believe in the company Ripple, who have actually done the investigation into Ripple, we're all left just scratching our heads. But what do you think happens when disruption occurs? You think the people that currently own the systems just roll over and allow it to happen? Do you think Swift is happy about innovation? They've owned this industry for 50 years with virtually no competition whatsoever. It's the standard for 50 years, almost 50 years. You think they just roll over and go, well, I guess it's Ripple's market now. We'll hand them the baton and let them run with it. I have no doubt. Now, was I in the room at the time? Can I confirm this? No. But I have little doubt that Swift has been talking with the Western Union CEO, and they are not happy about positive results continually coming out about Ripple and XRP. They are ticked behind the scene, and they are panicked like crazy behind the scene, as are multiple higher ups at a lot of these companies that are getting disrupted by Ripple and the XRP ledger technology. They are not happy about this. In one sense, they like the innovation because it's going to help them bring better value to their customers and help them actually make more money. In that sense, they're happy. But they still have the other side of that equation to deal with. The partners they've had for decades doing things a particular way. Disruption is not a nice word. It's a good word, ultimately, but disruption is a fighting word to many, many people who own these industries, okay? So we should not be surprised that people are freaking out. And we should not be surprised by the wild swings up and wild swings down. There's some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes with these companies when this disruption is occurring. Nobody's playing nice behind the scenes and just rolling over and allowing Ripple to have the market. This is a heavyweight bout going on. Even when you think of, here's another thing to think of, the Bitcoin price. So Bitcoin is run essentially by the miners who mine it. And as Brad Garlinghouse came out and said the other day, there are 4 major companies in China who have warehouses full of ASIC miners mining Bitcoin. They have massive amounts of money invested in the Bitcoin price staying above their break-even point to ensure that they continue to make money. I'll tell you from personal experience, I mine Ethereum, at least I was mining Ethereum. Ethereum has been dropping, and it got to the point where it's not profitable for me to mine it anymore. I'm almost to the point where I pay more for electricity each month than I get from mining Ethereum. Well, I turned off my miner. Because what the heck's the point? You think Bitcoin miners in China who control the industry are just going to turn off their miners and walk away? Heck no. There's going to be some major manipulation of the Bitcoin price going on. And if they have a method of doing it using Tether, they're going to use it. These are massive industries with massive amounts of money involved. And regardless of why people get into things and the goodness of their hearts before they got into things, once they're tied to an industry and they're dependent on that for their livelihood, it's real easy to get real desperate when someone steps in and starts disrupting all of it. So the Bitcoin industry is being disrupted as well by a company like Ripple, who has superior technology and real utility. Things are going to freak out, people. It's a new market still. The wild swings are evidence of the craziness that's going on behind the scenes in a multi-billion-dollar world that is being disrupted by Ripple. Now that might not give you peace, but it gives me peace just to know what's happening behind the scenes. I'll tell you what, if it's as beautiful this morning where you are as it is where I am, go sit on your porch for a while this morning, drink some coffee, look at the seemingly endless blue sky, the bright green trees, hear the birds singing, and take it easy. It's all under control. Ripple is uniquely positioned to take over this market after the disruption. It's just a matter of time. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.